got these songs from my father. He'd been a folk singer all his life. He was an iron moulder from Stirlingshire, from Stirling actually, and by profession he was an iron moulder, by inclination he was a ballad singer. He knew hundreds, and the last 2 years of his life I began to take them down. I'd learned many of them orally from him, but the long ballads I'd never taken the trouble to learn in any great detail, so when it was obvious that his health was failing, I began to take them down. I took Sir Patrick Spens down, Hugh of the Grime, The Heir of Lynn, and about 16 others in detail, and quite a number of lyric songs and fragments too. And that's all.
You have something about Sir Patrick Spens in the Stirling.
Oh yes, he told me that Spens, I asked him about Spens, he said that Spens wasn't a Scots name, he'd never come across the name in Scotland, but it was his opinion the name was Spence, it was young Patrick Spence, but Spence, the hard C was hard to sing, and they'd soften it into Spens, as you could hold the note longer that way, and it was necessary, as the Spens usually appears in the third line when the note has to be held. The king sits in Dunfermline toon, a-drinkin at the wine, and he has called for the best skipper in Fife and all the land. Then out it spak an old carle, steed by the king's knee, says Patrick Spens is the best sailor that ever sailed the sea. The king has screivit a long letter and signed it with his hand and sent it to young Patrick Spens, was walking on Leith sands. Tinarawa, 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 our the fame, the king's daughter on Narawa, 'tis ye man bring her hame. When first he looked this letter upon, a Matloch gid he, but ere he done the reading out, the tear blended his ee. They hadn't been in Narawa a week but barely 3, when all the lords on Narawa did up and spak sae free. These outland Scots waste our king's gowd and swallow our queen's fee, weary for the tongue that spak sick a Macaulay. Who can this be? Cried Patrick Spens. I pray ye tell to me, for the bows of my ship are rocht a gowd, and of 12 kiss of white money. Tak tent, my good men, oh, and mind ye be weel forn, for come it wind or come it hail, our good ship sails the morn. Then out it spak the weatherman, I fear we'll all be drowned, for I saw the new men late yestreen, with the old men in her arm. They hadn't been afloat, a week but barely half, when the lift grew late and the wind blew high, and the ship it was a wreck. Oh, where will I get a bonny boy, will tak my steer in hand, while I climb up the high-top mast, and see if I can spy land. He hadn't claim a step
a step but barely in, when the bows of our gweedly ship did brak, and the Scots see it coming. Oh, laith, laith were our great Scots lairds to wat their cork-heeled shoon, but long ere all the ploy was done, they wat their hearts aboon. Oh, long, long while our ladies sat with their fans until their hand, before they see young Patrick Spens come sailing to the land. Half hour be Aberdour, where the sea's so wide and deep. It's there it lies, young Patrick Spens, with the Scots lairds at his feet.